Hey guys, Harry here, and we're back with another Bricklaying vlog. I'm not quite sure what part this is, but you'll see it by the title. Just giving you guys a little idea of how long I've been on this ban lift now, the one I took over. I spent a day and a half on the other gable in total, so I spent a day and a half getting that gable up. This is after I'd done all my alterations, and then I've spent, this is after a day, so 2.5 days I'd spent in this clip. So this clip was after 2.5 days. And I've spent, from this footage, spent a day and a half on it basically. So that's 4 days, so probably I'll have it done in another 2 days, I would have said. So the only thing that this plot it probably had about what it'd take me a day and a half to do. So 6 days. So I don't think that's too bad. 7.5 days to do one of these, to full light block work, 23-foot course on brick from joist. So that's sort of what time scale it's took me for this sort of house type. They're all pretty square. This one's probably one of the more trickier ones because it has trays back and front. So a little bit of an update on the pest control situation. When you guys will be watching this, which will be on the Monday, I did make a post the other day saying I'd try to get one out on Sunday, but we're staying at a friend's house at the moment. I've been there for 3 nights so far. We went away at the weekend because we'd had it planned for months. And then all this happened, so it's all just fell on a bad time. So just really haven't had time to make any videos, upload. But I've had this footage since Thursday. I did a bit of a short day Friday, obviously because we were going away. But we're back now, and I'm having Monday off you'll be seeing this on the Monday because we're getting the fumigators in. The house is spotless, but it's just got fucking fleas everywhere. The house is absolutely, I've hoovered it. It's absolutely tidy as fuck. Because I'm a clean freak, to be honest. I hate mess, hate dirt. I like doing a lot of cleaning in the house. Mrs. does her fair share, but I like to, do my own bit. But it's been a shock. It's been a massive fucking shock. I wouldn't wish this on my worst enemy. What's happened to me with these fleas? It's been unbelievable how much it uproots your life, especially with an active 2-year-old. Having your missus and kids sat in a car for 6 hours a day, because you can't just decamp at a friend's house. A bit surprised at how little support we got really in this when we realised we had this problem. How we were literally on our own, but I've basically done. I've got myself out of every, tough situation over the years, and this was no different. I just sorted it on my own as I normally do. Big reason why I do work on my own, because I can just fucking get shit done no matter what, whether it's outside of work or at work. You gotta learn to take fucking action. But it's a local lad we've got coming. I was going to use a big company, but they charged quite a lot of money, and I want to save a bit of money there, and I'd rather support a local business in my area than use some big corporation. Rather support some local business, and it got good reviews, and it was I'll let you guys know more next video, because I've probably got a couple of parts to this ban lift still to record. I'm going to probably record the block work, the back and front. I'm going to record some of me doing the front, how I set up an internal dogleg profile. I've actually never really set any profiles up for dog legs in the traditional sense, really, like on housing. I've done some internals on walls and stuff, but I've never really set an internal up for an house, because a lot of times used to build it by hand. Any internals used to build big corners, obviously like you've seen me do on walls. I'm going to try an internal profile setup. Obviously, you've seen me do it for pillars and, on garages and stuff like that, setting big profile setups there. But, I'm going to try to do one with a line. I don't like internal profile setups. I just find they're a bit of a wall ache to do. Even using profiles on houses I'm doing now, because I'm building big corners and then running in, and a lot of these houses, because these concrete bricks are the brick's stronger than the mortar. In a lot of cases, the mortar tends to crack because it's a concrete brick. A lot of houses with these concrete bricks, require that tram lines, reinforcing mesh, stuff like that. But these houses in particular don't. And the only downside is they have expansions. They only have 2 per house to, allow movement and stop your joints cracking, which I've seen happen on these houses that do have concrete bricks. In the past, when I used to lay these about 4 or 5 years ago, at Keepmo, we were building some townhouses, and that was back when I'd been a one-on-one for about a year or two then, and prices weren't very good. We were laying these years and years ago, me and my old super labourer, who were basically, because I had a bit of time off with some health issues, I lost him. He got another job, and I really regret that years ago, because it's hard now even to find good help, because obviously I've gone through a fair couple of lads, and it's been a stressful deal trying to find someone to replace, Jamie, and replace the old man for the days he likes to work. So it's been hard going, but we're getting there. So yeah, these concrete bricks, because I'm building big corners, running into expansions, I'm splitting these sort of gables into, easy little chunks to build, especially with them when I'm with the old man, like this morning. On this footage, not this actual morning, on the footage, I started laying at 7 o'clock. I got here at 7 on the scaffold, because I already have I had my ready mix up. I had to knock it up because it always goes stiff quite quick, this ready mix, and you have to when laying these concretes, you have to get your mortar at a certain consistency. It's got to be right, or else you're not going to get the volume done. You're just not going to get the amount of bricks down. But I was laying by 7:30, which is never really get laying at that time ever. And then the old man didn't get here till probably about 8:15. So, you'll see him coming towards the end of the videos, lifting a few buckets of gobo for me. But, I am at the point now, I am trying to have to organise everything around the old man, because he just can't keep up with loading in front and getting gear. It's just not. I'm getting a bit fast for him now, especially now I'm not working. Not doing my after 8 hours anymore. I'm doing regular bricklaying hours. 7 o'clock start. 4 o'clock, 4:30 finish. It's an extra few hours where he does struggle to keep up for what I'm getting done. So. Update on new lad. I've got another lad I've been messaging who sent me I've had loads of applications, but I had a lad actually send me a couple of messages. He lives very close to where I live, so if I do end up trialing him for a week, he doesn't have any CSCS, which this site, you don't require CSCS on this site, but I might trial some lads for a week, doing a bit of cash in hand jobs, just to try them out. I don't like to commit to people, as now I've been stung with committing too much. I like to just make sure you want the job first, and just to fill in. Well, one of the other lads is starting. I don't know. I'm in two minds what to do. Obviously, because I've took over these 2 houses, we've got sort of this has been I had plenty of cream left in it, but I still lost all the block work, basically, a lot of the block work, basically, and one of the gables, all the easy bit of one of the gables. So, not been a terrible drop, but I have got a fresh lift to start, either a fresh joist lift, band lift from joist, or I've got a fresh plot from damp to start. In the next week or so. So I'm trying to just get these plots polished off, because I've got that other band lift that I took over to get to wall plate, which will only take me a few days, I think, at least maybe 3 max. I think 3 max for what I've built on it. And then I've got this. So this will because what I like about this job, you can finish a lift before dropping on another. So because this lift is holding up another lift because the scaffolds are tied together, I've got to get this one finished first. So because I'll be having Monday off basically, it should take me Tuesday to get the back and half at front up, and then Wednesday at front, and then make a start on the brickwork and the block work. So I think Thursday dinner time I'll be done on this one. If not Thursday night, then I'll be up on that other plot on Friday, squaring that one round. So probably next week I'll be starting a fresh drop. Whether it is squaring this one round to plate as well, I don't know. Just see. I'm trying to get another couple of weeks out of the way and get all these shit drops out of the way, because I'm just counting measure. You see, I'm not taking actual pot price, because the fucking plot prices aren't any better than the measure anyway. You're kidding yourself if you think otherwise. That it's very rare that you're getting more than you measure on housing. This is one thing I learnt many moons ago, is just count your measure, tally the plot price up if you get given one, and you want to be just building houses with as least detail as possible. There's no, like these houses, they have a sort of like a banding brick all the way around at 2 levels at both sill heights, upstairs sill and downstairs sill, and they have a 3 sets of feature bricks going up the the top on your top lift. And when you square into plate, you've got a couple of banding bricks on each corner stuck out as a little feature. Dead easy. There's no sill bricks. The only features in a sense is the soldiers over the lintels on the patio doors, and obviously above your windows on your murder lifts. And then when you square into plate, you've got soldiers over your lintels there, and that is it. So obviously you got your damps to put under your soldiers, so there is obviously that. And then these have cut-ups, but they're the traditional style cut-ups where they just the standard fascia soffit. So you just bed of brick on, run it, boom, straight front fascia and soffit. You just run it, whatever the fascia and soffit is, you stick your line to that, boom, easy work. I can't fault them cut-ups, to be honest. A lot of bricklayers don't like cut-ups, and I think I just think it's straight brickwork. It's like it is basically 2 gables. I know you're reducing them, but you're just racking back obviously when you've got fascia and soffit. There's no cuts to do or anything, which I like. A little bit of footage here. The old man rings me every morning when I'm here early. Rings me every morning at 8 o'clock, saying he's almost here. So I have that every morning. So little fun fact. But that's what's going on. Just giving you guys a little bit of an update, because I know people like to see how long it averagely takes me for to do an house, because it's something you don't really see on YouTube now. There's Tricky Bricky with his big gang blasting through lifts left, right and centre, but you're not really seeing a sense of progression, because I know a lot of guys are wanting to go one-on-one or wanting to get on price. I've had a lot of messages about that, and it's something that I'm happy to help you with. I've had a few people DM me on Insta or DM me on YouTube. I'll give you some advice. I'm happy to help. This is what I do the videos for, to help people. But a little bit of an insight of how I started on price is one thing that people have asked. Is when I did my apprenticeship, I did it with a house building firm, Red Row. I did my apprenticeship there, and the subby that was on the site, which I came out my time on, I just worked for that subby, and I got put straight on price doing working with a gang. So I worked with a gang which were on price at first, and I just got £100 a day. That's what I got straight out of my apprenticeship, which I could lay about 150 £200 a day's worth of bricks on a good run. That was out of my time, because I'd been doing 2 years I did 2 years at college, and then I did a 3-year apprenticeship, 3 years at college, then a 3-year apprenticeship because it was the recession. But obviously the rates were a lot lower when I started, and by the time I got out my time, the rates were starting to pick up a bit. We're at the 400,000 sort of range back then. To give a little bit of perspective, we're on 650 now, so that's a big difference. From there, I worked with that gang for a year out of my time, and then I basically said to him, I'm going to go on my own. That's all I just said. I said I'm going to go on my own. I want to, start my own gang. And I basically worked with one of my best mates for about 6 months, 4 to 5 months probably, or maybe 4 months, probably less. And then that didn't really work out because he had a bad back, and at the time we worked for a few bad firms, a few bad sites as well, and it was just a bit of a struggle, and then I went working on my own. I got a labourer and I went working on my own. I had a labourer / apprentice. Went working on my own, learnt quite a lot there. Didn't get on with that lad, and then I got another labourer, which was one of my best mate's brothers, and then we jumped for a few housing firms then, and then I ended up going back to a firm working on my own again for a sub I had worked for before. I worked on my own doing a few garages and a few bits of patching and stuff. And then I left there and went working with another lad we were just at his time as well. By this time I'd been at my time for about 3 years or so, and I'd been obviously laying bricks for coming on to like 8 years, 7 or 8 years, so I was really quite experienced by then, and I stuck with that firm for a while with one of my mates, and it was a brickie, but wasn't really the price work brickie, so we split everything down the middle, but he did most of the labouring, and then we used to just run in together and stuff. I had a good laugh then. It was really good, before I had a kid and everything, so I didn't really need the money, and I had plenty saved. And then I got my house, and I went working solo for 6 months, and that was 3.5 years ago. That'd be 4 years ago, and I went solo for 4 years ago for 6 months. 3 years ago, sorry. And then the old man went with me 6 months after that, and then I started YouTube about 2.5 years after that. So, it's took many different working situations, many different trial and error, working for different subbies, learning how to deal with different, just knowing the inside out of the game, and how to book in, and how to read people, how to know how to deal with managers, and how to deal with subbies, and how to get the right prices for jobs, and making sure you count and you measure, etc., etc. All little things that make a big difference, and it is a big step to be able to work on your own on houses. It's not something you can just do straight out of your time. You need to know a lot of things. You need to have a lot of experience. And my bit of advice for anyone is just work at different firms where you can. Ask plenty of questions. And to be quite honest, if you're working on a day work rate, even if you're getting 200 or 220 a day on day work, depending on what you're doing, if you're doing private work, you're probably going to be getting more, regular day work. And I can't recommend enough working one-on-one, or starting a gang with one of your mates or whoever, and just going on price, because you might earn less for your first year or two on price. You might earn less than being on day work with working in a big gang or working for a small builder. But then after that, you'll start making more just slowly. Like when I first went working on price, back when the prices weren't very good, about 330, 340 I think we were getting, I were earning about £600 a week. £600 a week. I was paying my labourer about 300 a week, and which was good for the time, £60 a day, something like that. I was paying him, maybe a bit more. So, and I was probably booking £600 or £700 on a good week. And then as time went on, I got faster, and I started booking 8s and 9s in after I'd been one-on-one for a year or two. And then, after, I'm coming up on 11 years now on the trowel, I've booked about £1,400-1,500 in some weeks. It doesn't happen very often. If you can aim for £200 a day, which is like a regular day work for any bricklayer, if you can aim for that every day, and be able to earn your day work, about £1,000 a week in 4 days, if that's what you can sort of do every week consistently, you're onto a winner. That's all I aim for. I only aim £200 a day. There's days where I've earned £400 in a day, but it depends on circumstances, type of work you're on, the lift you're on makes a big difference, what the prices are, just how familiar you are with the builds like this. Me going onto this site for the first week, first week I wasn't even covering my day work, I wasn't even earning £200 a day, I was probably earning a bit less, 180, 170 when I first started. Bit of a shit lift, not knowing the houses, not, knowing, always checking the drawings, etc., slowing myself down. And then, my second, third week, I was back to earning my sort of day work rate, so I'm back to earning my day work rate now. So, and that's the third week on job. So, probably next week or the week after, I'll start earning more. I'm back to sort of price work rate, you know what I mean? So, what I was usually booking in. So, it takes time, even for, experienced bricklayer like myself. It takes time to earn money, and it is very weather dependent. So, like for instance, we got rained off, a couple of days the other week, and these bricks, they don't lay well in the rain at all. So, this is something you got to work around. This is why I'm going to be finding myself doing the block work, doing the brickwork when I can, and the block work when it rains. These blocks lay great in the rain, they're really dry, so I'm going to be probably picking my days to do the brickwork, picking my days to the brickwork and picking my days to the block work, especially in winter. You've just got to lay your bricks when you can, so if that means you can't point the back of your block because you've laid all your brickwork first, it's what you've got to do. I'm probably going to find myself doing that. I do prefer to build the brickwork first, especially with these formers that are in check as well. You can build 4-course up your reveals and rack back before you actually have to put your former in, because window clips every 300 they like that these days, along with your expansion ties. So that's what I've been doing. Obviously you've seen me take it over 2 lifts, so where the block work's already been done. So as you can see, the block work isn't jointed behind me, it's got voids, but I said I said to the subby I'm working for, I'll alter the least amount I've got to do. I'm taking over someone else's work, so I'm not responsible for the work that's already there. I'm only responsible for what I've done. So this is the reason why I've not been really as finicky with this plot, and I've not been really as neat I've been neat, but I haven't been really as picky as I normally am. If I was doing a fresh lift that I'd done myself, I'd have been more picky. I'd have been more keen on keeping my lats in the cavity. You can see I've got a lat in, but there's been a metre or two where there's been no lat, where there's been freely to drop into the bottom tray. I do try and keep my upstairs trays clean where I can, but everyone knows if you're taking over work, you don't put as much care into it as if it's your own lift, your own house. So that's what I've been doing. So yeah, that's basically what's been happening on this day. It was probably my best day so far. This was sort of reminiscent of what I normally do, and this is only my 3rd week on the job, so this is what you can expect to be doing. I think I laid about 800 bricks on this day. I've not laid 800 bricks for a long time, to be quite honest, and I did it and I was going pretty steady. I had about 4 hours sleep, managed to lay 800 concretes, but obviously when you're in houses, if you're booking, you measure, like I like to do on every plot I take over. You don't want to book it in all at once. So, if you lay 800 bricks one day, what I like to do, if you return around a corner and do some rack backing, don't book that in. Leave that for the next time you come to your back or your front. you leave a bit on for yourself next time. If you're going to build a dog leg on the front where you're going to lay 300 bricks, leave 100 bricks on the front of your house. Even if you've already built it, leave your front pillar on or whatever, or leave your back window pillar. Leave your centre bit extra on, because you ain't gonna bucket the bollocks off of it if you're going to be building it the following day or the following week. Keep track of what you've done, and just leave a bit on for when you're not going to get as much done, or when you're on an awkward bit of the house. That's what you've got to do. On the days you lay 800, try to replicate that as many times as you can, but some days you're only going to lay 300 or even 200 bricks. There's days this week where I only laid fucking 250 bricks and stuff like that, 300 bricks. At first, if you're losing time and stuff, so you've got to really be, you ain't got to get yourself, on the days you're laying 300 bricks, don't get yourself down and think, oh, I'm getting worse. Just realise that it's all circumstantial what you're doing. So, it is possible. It's easy to lay 700-800 bricks on a good band lift, on a good run, and I managed to do it in between an expansion. So building up to the expansion and then to the next corner, it's easily doable. It's having the right help. I did that obviously with the old man as well, so he's a bit slower. So probably if I had a lad knocking the gear up for me, because I was knocking my own gear up in the tub because it was ready mix, and then the old man was getting my gobbo. I was stacking my own bricks up. Obviously he got me the bricks, but I had to put the stacks up myself when they got low and stuff. So I could probably do it easily 1,000 of these soapers with a bit of practice on these houses, because it is easier to get your measure in when you're on long runs, especially on gables of houses. It's dead easy. It's even when you're doing your backs and fronts up to your sills, it's no problem. Even if you blast your gables up full height and then your sill, your back and front to sill, you can easily get 800, 900, 1,000 bricks in with the right help. It all depends on how good your labourer is. So this is why I've seen people commenting saying, oh, your labourers just stand there or whatever, or you need your labour doing this and that. My point of the matter is, you don't know who's working for me. You don't know who they are. I've not revealed any identity of any of the new lads working with me, and I will do at some point, and you'll be all shocked, and you'll not know. But you've got to treat people with respect if you want to work for you, and that's what I like to do. I value people on how they are as a person. I want someone to continue working with me. It's all right me getting someone for 2 weeks, abusing the hell out of them, trying to work them like a dog, and then they jack up. Then I'm back to square one again. I ain't got anyone to help me, and I know the value of good help, and I know how much money it makes me having someone who's good help. So I have to, I've got to nurture that. I've got to make sure I'm going to have someone consistently reliable to work with me, because I don't want what happened with Jamie, where he did two or 3 weeks and jacked up. I don't want to employ someone like that. I don't want someone working with me who's going to do a month and jack up, because that's no good. It's no good to me, because then I've got to find someone else. And then that loses me money in the meantime, because it is harder. I do lose money when I'm having to set new people on, because you're having to show them the ropes. You have to show them how you work, and for the first week, it's better than having no help, but it takes a lot of work. It takes a lot of work to get them, up to speed and stuff. So it's something that you've got to realise that, with your labourer, it makes you money having a labourer. Whether it's a good labourer or a bad labourer, it makes me money at the end of the day. It makes me money having a good labourer. It makes me money having a labourer, period, because I've done it on my own solo. I'm someone who, it does slow me down massively having to get my own gear. It takes its toll on me, and I haven't always got the energy with having a young active 2-year-old at home. I can't always hack it on my own. I can't do the volume of work I should be able to. So it's one of them things. You've got to really think about when you're setting someone on. You've got to really think, is this going to cost me in the long run? Fucking, getting someone who I know isn't really interested, or I know isn't going to be suited. It's going to cost, because as soon as you set someone, you've got to turn someone else down who could be the potential perfect candidate. So it's a risk every time. It's a risk every time someone jacks up. It's a fucking risk. It's a ball ache. It takes time out of your personal life, because you're having to sort out another worker, another labourer, or another helper, whatever, or another tender. It is a sacrifice. It is a ball ache at the end of the day. So you'll see when I get someone decent. I will eventually. We'll go into more detail then. But at the moment it's just me and the old man while I get these awkward lifts out of the way, and it is a bit of a teething period for the site, but in all honesty, I'm liking it. I'm liking it on these houses. These soap bricks, the soapers, what me and my mate used to call them years ago, the soapers. Concrete facing bricks, they're not bad at all. People, hate on them. There's guys on Facebook, no concrete bricks, some concrete bricks are worse than others. These aren't that bad. Especially the ones with the frogs as well. They're even better, because they tend to just don't sink as much. But these ones, the technique I use to lay them, you need to have the touch. And I don't mean there's a certain special magic to laying them. No, you just, it works well doing the long spread pick and dip. You don't want to be tapping these bricks. You don't want to be, you don't want to get the mortar the wrong consistency and start banging your bricks down, and you don't want it too stiff, but then you don't want it too wet. You just got to get your mortar to the right consistency. And this is something I've learned over years of trying to perfect the way to lay bricks and trying to make it easy for myself. And there's these bricks I find as well, the sizes aren't as varied. Your perps aren't as varied. I find the shape is more consistent with them being like a manufactured concrete brick as opposed to a clay brick. I just think the way they're made is to a bit of a higher standard. They do vary in size a little bit, but I find them easier to keep your joints plumb. They are, they're not one of them things you can, they will sort of, if you're not mindful of checking your levels and keeping an eye on these. And if you have a habit of tipping your bricks, they'll highlight your errors. But if you lay your brick with a little bit more care, they do take a little bit more laying than a clay brick. They'll and they're less forgiving. If you're a bit clumsy, you'll easily sink these or get these rolling with the punches. You've got to just take your time with them. You got to take your time. You got to know. You got to know when to build in certain situations. Like I've been able to take, I managed to get about 6 or 7 course down on this gable the previous day, which gave me a good head start to get this up another 7 course. Then I put some banders in, which are super dry brick that they give you another sturdy base to put another 10 or 12 course on top of that. And you just got to really be a bit more strategic with these bricks when you're laying them. But I like laying them, to be honest. They're easy to lay, I find. They're a very easy brick to lay. The low stress if you don't have to load them out. Obviously, loading them out is fucking heavy, so that is a downside. But for what I'm getting paid for them, $6.50 a thou in my area up north, it is, there's not many better rates than that. I think the highest I've seen 700, but that's a lot more further afield than where I'm working. And the job's 15 minutes from my house, so I can't fault the setup really. So yeah, that's my advice for going on price. You're gonna earn less at first than you would on day work, but then you'll learn, get better as a bricklayer, and you'll earn more in the long run. In the long run, you'll earn a lot more. Especially if you get really start getting a good labourer. And really getting their skills down, and then they make you a bit of money sometimes. if they're spreading well and they're pointing up fast and they're getting your gear good, you're making money then, out of them a little bit. I'm not, obviously you've seen my view on making money out of people. You need to make a little percentage off someone who's working for you to benefit you teaching them, to benefit you, the extra stress and hassle you've got to put, effort you've got to put in. But if someone's worth good money and you're making really good money off them, by all means pay them more money, you know, pay them what they're worth, because at the end of the day, same rules apply as what I said before. You've only to lose that person, and then you're back to square one, and then you're not making anything. So, you know, I'd rather make a small percentage for a long time than make a big percentage and then have my worker be pissed off, jack up, and then me be left, you know, searching through numpty after numpty, and getting frustrated and making nothing out of them. You know, I'm a bit more of a, you know, I've got a different approach to a lot of people. You know, a lot of people greed takes them over, and then they think, oh, I'm making this much out of them. Oh yeah, you know, and they don't look after the people who are working for them and who's helping them. Because I've done it on my own. I've worked on my own 6 months, probably in total. I've worked dead solo for about a year in total over my bricklaying life, and it's hard fucking going. It's hard to get motivated. It's hard to get organised, and with the right people supporting you, you know, working for you, it makes all the difference, and it makes your life a lot easier. A power of 10 easier. So it's important. It's important to respect who works for you and respect people, because, you know, you're giving them an opportunity, but they're also, you know, giving you an opportunity to, you know, to be faster and make a little bit more money. And, you know, remembering, you know, it is a bit of, you know, you are giving someone an opportunity, but they're also giving you the opportunity to make a bit more money as well. So, with the right bricklayer, you know, some bricklayers, don't matter what labourer will work with them, they'll not make any more money. They'll probably make less. But, you know, in my situation, with, you know, the skill level I've got, you know, any labourer makes me, you know, more money who's somewhat decent, you know, who's fast enough. You know, you don't have to be amazing, if you just got to be fast enough, and, you know, you'll make me a bit of money, you know, on most of the occasions. I just benefit well from good help. I speed up tremendously from good help. So, yeah. That's my take on, you know, going on your own on price, or, you know, having, you know, my methodology behind labourers, and, you know, now I like to treat people who work for me. It's, you know, it should be, you know, the respect should be mutual. So, you know, I don't like people who treat, you know, the people who work for them like they're below them, or, you know, they're no more or no less of them, you know. So it's, you know, no, everyone's equal in my eyes. You know, it don't matter if you're a fucking millionaire or you're just getting by. You know, I don't value people's wealth over, you know, how much money they have in the bank. It's how they are as a person that matters to me. Which people fail to, you know, people in this life I come across regularly, whether, you know, they're my friends or they're related to me, or they're just people I meet on the street. You know, it baffles me how, you know, people have got their moral compass out of whack a little bit, you know, needs calibrating for a lot of people. But anyway, enough of my, you know, my ramblings. But yeah, I hope you guys are enjoying the footage. I should be back in my house by the time you're watching this video. And you'll see, you know, I'll try upload bi-daily videos again, or even daily videos for when I get time to edit them. But yeah, I think I'll be working every Saturday that's viable in the next coming months up to Christmas, because we're getting close to Christmas now, and I always used to neglect working Saturdays even when the weather got bad. But I'm going to work every Saturday come what may now, just because I am a little bit of a smaller gang. I'm a little bit steadier than some of the bigger gangs. Well, not that much steadier, but you know, because I've been having quite a bit of time off in the last month or two, I feel I owe it to myself to put in a bit of extra work in. So I'm going to be working basically every Saturday that it's raining. So it probably won't be every Saturday, because it's probably going to be raining on some weekends. But every clear Saturday I can work, I'll work in up to 12, 1 o'clock or something like that. To what I can handle. You know, I don't like to burn out, but I feel I've been having a lot of time off recently, and, you know, I owe it to my son to put in a bit of effort on this new site, and you know, they seem to like me here, so, you know, they'll like me even more if I'm here on a Saturday. So it's something that I'm trying to up my production a little bit by doing that extra day a week, to just make up for bad weather or fucking loss of time and stuff sometimes. And and then I'll be up to speed to what I think I should be up to. Not, you know, I'm fast enough for the site by all means, but what I think I should be doing, I'll be up to speed quicker by doing an extra day a week. I'll just get my groove back a little bit better, get my mojo back a little bit better. So that's where I'm at right now. You know, I'm really overwhelmed with support. You know, we're over 1,100 subs now. Most of the comments are positive. I don't like to block people when I don't have to, but if you're leaving, you know, just arsehole-ish comments, really, they don't even have to be hurtful, but if, you know, I can sense a comment that's fucking, you know, a bit of an arsehole-ish comment, and I'll check it out. If you've commented multiple times, it does show on the channel when I click on your channel name. If you've got 3 or more abusive or what I deem non-constructive comments that aren't really adding positivity, you know, you'll just get blocked. I'm sorry, but, you know, if you catch me on a day where I'm a bit pissed off, I'll probably block you for no reason as well. So just don't leave any hateful comments. I'd rather you personal message me on fucking Insta than leave it in the YouTube, because it just pollutes the fucking comments below. It pollutes the community. You know, I don't like a toxic environment. I just feel there's too many toxic people out there that you meet on a day-to-day basis, which I don't want it to carry over onto the platform that I have here on YouTube to, you know, speak to all you guys and, you know, try to help out anyone who takes what they can from them. You know, these videos, I have a little bit of a different approach to the bricklaying world, you know, compared to some of the guys on YouTube. You know, it's my own. It's just the way I am as a person. It's not really, you know, how I recommend being. It's just how I like to live my life, you know, by these fucking unwritten rules. But I hope I've, you know, brought a little bit of entertainment to you guys here on YouTube, and I can't thank you guys enough for the support, and yeah, it's given me a massive outlet to vent my thoughts to the world through bricklaying. So anyway, guys, we're getting towards the end of the footage. There's plenty more of this to come on this gable. I've got a few more clips to show you after today's part. So hope you guys have enjoyed. I hope you've had a good weekend. I will see you guys in a couple of days with another video.